All right guys, so today I'm going to share with you how to make snickerdoodle cookies. It's one of my favorite recipes of all time. It's actually a recipe that I was taught in 8th grade home ec way back in the 1990s. We don't even want to go how far back, but there we are. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get our trays put together in class tomorrow. Assistant cooks, your job is to do this. Then your job, assistant cooks, is to come to the measuring table and measure those ingredients. I will be there helping you guys out, so no panicking. Only the assistant cooks are allowed at the measuring table. That way we don't have 8 of you up there. I only have like 3 of you up there, and it'll make it easier. Okay, so the first thing we need to get for this recipe is sugar. So I have my sugar in this container here. If you are lucky enough, chefs, to get a 3/4 cup measure out of your kitchen, use your 3/4 cup measure, okay? Because it's just easier that way. We are going to use the scoop and scrape method with our sugar. Get a little clumpy here. It's been a while since we've used it. So we're always going to scoop, and then we use the back side of our straight edge to scrape, okay? Except that one little piece there. There we go. Just push it in there. So we have our 3/4 cup of sugar. We're going to keep everything separate, assistant cooks. Your head cook is going to be the one that puts it all together, all right? So once I'm done with a recipe ingredient, for you guys tomorrow, you're just going to come down the assembly line, and I'm just going to move over here for now. All right, then I need 1/4 cup of butter, okay? It's sharing with me here that 4 tablespoons is 1/4 cup. On your tray, please change it to 4 tablespoons, not 2. On your tray. The way we are going to measure butter in here is we are going to use a serrated butter knife. See the little teeth on the butter knife? We're going to go to the 4 tablespoon line, and I'm going to start sawing it like I saw a tree. That butter is softened, and then I can tear the paper the rest of the way. I need my 4 tablespoons of butter on my tray. All right, next ingredient is my vegetable oil shortening. I am going to bring to the table a spoon. I'm going to very carefully, because I don't want to break the handle off my measuring cup, I'm going to hold it like this. I'm going to use a spoon, and this is the one that's going to take the longest time, assistant cooks, is really getting this shortening down into the measuring cup. All right. Once it's down into the measuring cup, I'm going to take my butter knife and really push it in there. Make sure I get a full 1/4 cup, holding the bottom so the handle doesn't break off. Scrape the edge. I have 1/4 cup of shortening. I'm going to leave that spoon in there for later. I'll need it tomorrow. Okay, that's going to go on my tray. All right, I then need 1 egg according to the recipe. So the egg is going to go on the tray like this. Then I need 1½ cup of flour. Same thing, using your straight edge. Everybody should have one in their kitchen. We're going to scoop and we're going to scrape. We're going to scoop more than we need, and then we're going to scrape it off. I don't want to see you packing flour. Now what happens is my cookies are going to be tougher because I'm just going to probably need, I don't know, that's probably a tablespoon more flour, when in actuality we want light, we want fluffy, so we're just scooping and scraping. So I have my 1 cup of flour, and then I also need my 1/2 cup of flour. Scoop and scrape. You can stack them like that. In fact, that means we wouldn't even need the measuring bowl, but if you want to bring it over, you can. Again, remember, the head chef's job is to put the ingredients all together, so we're going to keep even our powdery ingredients separate. I need 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, so cool. Everybody say ooh. Ooh. Everybody say ah. There is a built-in straight edge in here, okay? I'm going to scoop, and then I'm going to scrape along that box. Every baking soda box out there has this built-in straight edge. Okay, so I'm going to show you again. Everybody's going to scoop, and you're going to scrape. And we want to keep a nice little pile right here on our plate. We want our head chef to see that, okay, that is definitely 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Good job, head chef. Then I'm gonna use my cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is 1 teaspoon. There is no straight edge, so we're gonna use our little guy. And we're gonna build it in, see what I'm doing here, chefs? Let me show you. Christian, can you see? Alex, can you see?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna kind of like scoop along the edge and scrape. You see what I did there? I'm gonna push it down in and I'm gonna scrape. I don't wanna waste a bunch of this. This little guy is $3.50. I don't wanna spend a lot of money and like stuff just, you know, getting right like that, like brushed off the table, okay? And then that goes in its own pile here. Okay. Then what you're gonna do, oops. You're gonna need and this won't be measured until Wednesday when you guys make your cookies, but we're gonna do a teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh, that smells so good. And you need a tablespoon of sugar. Did you know 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon? Everybody say, whoa, that's awesome. No? Okay, I'm trying. So 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon. And then we're gonna do the next step, and I need you guys to kind of gather around behind the KitchenAid mixer over here. So assistant cooks, when you get to this point, then it is time to take your ingredients back to your kitchen. Follow me. Sir, you can kind of just stand on the edge there. As long as, can you see the KitchenAid from there?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. So with cookies, to make successful cookies, we always do fats and sugars first. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my fats in here. So my shortening and my butter go in. These are the nicest measuring cups in my opinion, because they clean out really good. I like them being clear so you can kind of see from the outside where you can scrape. I'm just gonna go ahead and scrape that off with the KitchenAid beater there. Okay, shortening. Do not put this in your soapy water without rinsing it first. Okay, so helpers and aids, you'll run hot water, you'll give this a good rinse. Try to get the most of it out of there before you put it in your soapy water, or it'll break up your soapy water and it make it real gross. All right, and then you're gonna add your sugar. So butter, shortening, sugar, lock. We want it to start off slow and then make it go quicker so the ingredients aren't flying out of the bowl, making a huge mess. While that is fluffing, head cooks, you're gonna put together your dry ingredients. That's your flour, your soda, and your tartar. And we want to give these a mix. I'm just going to go ahead and use something that I already have that's dirty, because all I'm really doing is combining those 3 ingredients. We're going to stop the mixer. We're going to scrape it down once. Again, I'm going to go ahead and scrape it off here. I'm going to go ahead and whip it. One more time. I want it light and I want it fluffy. Did you know sugar is actually considered a liquid ingredient because it dissolves? It's true. You can Google that. All right, so basically what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make sure you guys can see that my sugars and my fats are well blended. Almost looks like I don't know, like cream cheese frosting before it's all the way whipped together. All right, so then I'm gonna crack my egg right here into my pastry cup. Why did I crack my egg in the pastry cup and not into my batter? What am I trying to prevent?
Shells.
Yeah, I'm trying to prevent shells. This is pretty close to the same color as my batter. So we're always, in this classroom, we're always going to crack our egg in a separate container before we put it into the stand mixer, okay? So eggs, though, we don't want to over mix our eggs with our fat and our sugar. So I'm going to start slow, and I'm really just mixing it until it's just incorporated. I'm not gonna go over a medium speed on this step, because the more we mix it, the more air will be incorporated. And I want fluffy snickerdoodles, don't get me wrong. I just don't want snickerdoodles that are like little hockey pucks that are this tall, okay? I'm gonna scrape down again. See why that plate is important? Mostly because my rubber scraper is super dirty and I don't want it all over the countertop. Okay. Then I put in the recipe. We're gonna add it 1/3 of a dry measure at a time. We don't want to dump it all in there. Most cookie recipes want the flour added gently, if you will. So you mix it until it's just about combined. I'm gonna put it at like a number 2. If you're at home and you don't have a KitchenAid, you can use an electric mixer, electric hand mixer. If you don't have either one of those, find the person that has the strongest biceps in the house and have them help you mix it. You always want to make sure for a cookie recipe that when it calls for soft butter, for your butter to be soft, not melted. If you melt the butter and it says soft, you can pretty much guarantee that your cookies are going to spread out like cow pies on your pan. If you've made cookies in the past and they haven't turned out, that's probably the reason. Okay, once it's mixed, I'm going to give it one more little, put it all together. What do you got? That's like 10 seconds. I'm not going very long. Turn it off, unlock it, and now we have this wonderful looking cookie dough. Okay, so cool. I love it. All right, Sam, right underneath of you in the double-doored cabinet, will you grab me one of my fancy cookie pans, please? Okay, helper and aid. While the head chef is working, you can ask for these 30 dishes. Okay, so then those can get started right away. Don't wait until the last minute to do your dishes. That's what's going to take us time. Thank you. Again, I don't like doing a lot of dishes, so I'm going to use the measuring spoon I measured the cinnamon with, and I'm just going to give my cinnamon sugar a good mix. This is the coating for our snickerdoodle. This is what's going to make it smell so good in here. This cookie cooks at a very high temperature, 400, I believe. Justin, can you double check that for me? Is it 400? Yeah. Thank you. All right, I'm going to get the cookie dough all together in one little lump. And we're going to use our small cookie scoop. There are 3 of you in each kitchen. You guys should be able to make 15 cookies. So we're going to use, I did that kind of backwards. One of you will be scooping, and have your assistant cook help you get them in the cinnamon sugar. Okay. This is a family favorite recipe. We make these at Christmas time mostly because it just add some different color to the cookie trays we make. And who like cinnamon sugar at Christmas time? It's like a classic flavor combo. All right, so then what I'm gonna do is I'm just rolling them around, and I'm setting them on the small little template of this cookie sheet. They are super fun to make. They actually make great sugar cookies too. So instead of putting cinnamon on them, I'll bake them and then make homemade icing and put icing on them. I think a sugar cookie recipe tastes better than a snickerdoodle recipe, in my opinion. It tastes better than a snickerdoodle sugar recipe. So we're just, tomorrow what you're gonna do, you're not doing the cinnamon step tomorrow, you're just gonna roll them and put them in a plastic bag. We'll do the cinnamon step on Wednesday. The cinnamon step, you guys, honestly, if I put these in the fridge overnight, the cinnamon will soak into the cookie, and when you cook them, they'll all look burned. Okay? Do not put your cinnamon sugar in the cookie dough. It's a garnish for the outside. Anybody have any questions? All right, so then once my oven preheats, I'm gonna cook them, how long? 8 to 10 minutes or 6 to 8 minutes? 6 to 8 minutes. We're gonna take them out. We're gonna set them on a cooling rack. We're gonna let them cool on a cooling rack. Then we're gonna review functions of ingredients. You guys are gonna have a little quiz on Thursday over functions of ingredients. Any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints at this time, chefs? All right, Justin and Austin, I need you to share with your groups, and then Austin, you're going to share with Braylon's group how to do the top of the lab planning form above where you just drew all your stuff. All right, thank you very much.